Welcome one more time to the United in Diversity program, broadcasting from IAS, Philippines. We are so excited that you have joined us to listen to another exciting interview about how people express love in different cultures. You see, here at IAS, we are really blessed because we have several countries and several cultures that are represented. We don't have to travel to different countries to learn about the different cultures. We just meet the people right here on our campus and we get to learn from them. So today, we're going to talk about love and how to express it in many cultures, given that love is one of those topics that everyone wants to talk about. Today, I have invited people from different countries. As you can see from probably the way they are dressed, they are all representing different countries. Before we start, I just want to remind us that the views expressed on this program don't reflect IAS. They are only opinions of our own program participants. So I am going to ask our participants to introduce themselves to get started. Let's start on the far end there.
Hello, everyone. I am Jose Manuel Sensano Espero. I come from the Philippines, but I'm from the South Philippines. My roots comes from the North Philippines.
Okay, and what are you doing here?
I'm doing PhD in Old Testament right here.
Very good. Welcome, Pastor Espero.
Good afternoon. My name is Ruth Ramirez. I'm coming from Mexico, and I'm studying here my PhD now.
Very good. Welcome to our program, Ruth.
Okay, my name is Barakat Daniel. I'm from Ethiopia, Horn of Africa.
Very good. I think this is a very good thing because we know of the Queen of Sheba, I think came from Ethiopia. So we should know how actually this whole story started. All right, let's go to the next person.
And I'm
yes?
studying in graduate school.
And what are you studying?
Business management.
Very good. Welcome to our program, Barakat.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reina Lagande. I'm coming from the United States, specifically New York City.
Okay. And what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm studying Masters in Public Health.
Very good. And as you can see, we have somebody doing theology, education, business, and public health, and they come from 4 different countries representing 3 different continents. So this is the United Nations right here. I just want us to get started, and this one, I think it will go to Barakat, given that he comes from Ethiopia, where the whole love story unfolded. How, in your culture, do you know that someone loves you?
Okay, actually it depends on the situation that you are in. Let us say if you are studying in the college, you know how relationship starts, especially regarding the love relationship, and also in the workplace. When you're in the office, you may have that kind of opportunity to make love relationship with someone who is working with you, and you can see that some things going differently. Maybe the one who loves you may treat you in a better way than others, and you may see some emotional things there. Actually, expressing love is not such simple. When you love someone, you may be afraid of telling what you feel because you may also cannot be sure of getting a right answer or a good reward or response as you like. If you tell that you are loving, you may get something annoying or in a negative way that you haven't expected before. So it makes you afraid of telling or expressing love freely. So you use different ways or mechanisms, like you may write a letter, or you may send someone who is close to you to tell that you are in love with that person. Or the same is true when someone loves you. You may get this kind of message or Uh, just it's like that now. But before, in my culture, traditionally, people may use different ways to express that you are in love with you. If I take you to the south part of Ethiopia, if someone or if a man loves a girl, he has to do something. He has to wait until the day or until the sun sets, and he has to take a big long stick, and he has to go to the girl's father house, and he has to put that stick. Before they know that he is doing that, he has to be very careful, and he has to put the stick through the door, and that is how he expressed that he is in love with that girl. So once he makes that or he does that, he is allowed to make negotiation with the family. This is traditionally common, especially in the south part of Ethiopia. But in the central part, especially during the Epiphany, the holiday that I don't know if it is common here. It's mostly celebrated in Ethiopia. The men's usually they go with something holding like lemon. If they are in love of a girl, they have to be careful, and carefully they throw the lemon on the chest of the girl. So that's how they express that they are loving that girl. So that man should be the first to throw the lemon on the breast or on the chest of the girl. So, and she will know that he is looking for her, and he is very much interested with that girl.
I guess
because
the lemon must be very expensive in Ethiopia.
It's not expensive, but you can get it from any place, from the farm.
Okay.
So this is few about.
Wow, that is very elaborate. That's quite
Thank you.
interesting. Let me just give a short experience I had, and then we'll ask Reina to intervene also on this same question. I was traveling around 2007, I believe. I was traveling to Africa with a group of people, and some were young, others were old, all different ages. And I remember we had one young lady who was from Michigan, and she was single. And she met this young man we were in Uganda, and obviously the young man was interested in her, and he started introducing himself and so on. Within 5 minutes, he said, "I really think I really like you. I think you should be my wife." Well, this lady came back to me because I was the leader of the group, and she was boiling and said, "Men in this country have no respect whatsoever. I just met this guy, and within 5 minutes, he says he's going to marry me. Who does he think he is?" And even myself, I was shocked because, how could you get to know somebody in 5 minutes and you think that this will be your wife? Reina, how is it in the United States? How do you know somebody loves you? There's no lemon there, I know for sure.
It's not really expressed, but people might say it, but you would really believe it once they start to show it through their gestures. So they like, girls would like if my coworkers' friends, if the guy is always in contact with you, if he's always messaging or sending cute messages or Snapchats or things like that, if he's taking you out a lot. And not just, Applebee's or small, like if he's taking you out and spending real money on you, they take that as a gesture of love. So anything that takes your time and money, girls in New York City really say, "Oh, okay, now he cares," he's really willing. Because that's two things, time and money in New York City are very...
And this is linked to what we're talking about in another program, that the entertainment has distorted reality. Because when you watch a movie, it may be different. It's like people just see each other, look in themselves in the eye, and the next, within 5 minutes, they fall in love, and then they get married after that. And people think this is what America is about. But obviously, it's not like that, is it? It's not. It's not. Mexico. How did you know that your husband was in love in you?
Well, it's not with us. It's not about money, okay? Because when you're studying, you don't have any, so there's no way to show with money. But it's with cards, with letters. Every Friday, all the girls in the dorm, they're waiting for those happy Sabbaths to come, and there's little letters with ribbons and things, and they're waiting. And fulanita de tal, this is for you. This is for you. And imagine the one that's not receiving anything. So everybody was, receiving little cards, and they say, "Oh, who's this man? It's fulano." So everybody was so happy, for the other, and that's the way they express till now. More than Facebook or emails, or it's just little notes. Happy Sabbath, where the man takes time to make it nice and beautiful, put many things. That's one of the ways they show that they like you. And then that there's someone there that likes you. Or just a flower that appears there, and who's this lonely flower here? And everybody tries to think it is theirs, but then the name there, and that is just for you. So those little things are the ones that they still use, even though this time all this media has trying to change everything. It's still there. I always grew in a university environment, like a campus like this. So it was very, very, it's like a tradition back in Montemorelos to do like that, like a little notes. And then they go to prayer groups. And when they're in those prayer groups, it's like you're praying with one eye and with the other one is open. Because there's someone, you can feel someone is looking, Then you try to see who's the one. And when you see, okay, you close again because someone's there. And then after that, can I walk you home? Okay, so, yes, you can. No? So they start walking, and then if you like, what are you studying? My first question was, what are you studying? Medicine. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Fulan. Nice to meet you. Because I always wanted to marry a pastor. So if it was something else, it's nothing. No. It's a pastor or not at all. So when my husband would say, can I walk you? Say, what are you studying? Then pastor. Oh, yes, you can. Of course you can. Yes, I live like 1 kilometer from here, but you can walk me.
Very good, very good. Let's go to the Philippines. How do you know? We have a number of young people who are not married, who are coming from other countries. How would they know that a Filipino or a Filipina is interested in them?
Well, we have to take note that in the Philippines, the man should initiate. They must show love first. Women cannot show their love to the man first, or else there would be a bad connotation right there. Well,
and I think this is true about many cultures, actually.
Yeah, okay. Traditionally, a man shows love to a lady when he goes and visit the house of the lady early in the morning or probably late at night with friends bringing the guitar, and then they would sing, love songs, Filipino love songs to the lady. Wow. Okay? Yes. And some are still doing that in some parts of the Philippines. The lady loves you if she opens her window. So by the time that she opens her window, that means to say there's a permission from the parents for you to come into their house.
Wait a minute. How many people are singing outside? I thought it's a group of people, and
Yes.
one of them is the one who is interested in the lady.
There can be a number of people,
Okay.
but at least the guy brings his friends with him.
So how will she know who is the guy who is bringing this group?
Basically, the one who is the one at the front, okay?
Okay.
And the one who is singing.
So basically,
Alright.
she's looking through the window, through the crack of the
Yes,
window.
yes.
And then she sees whoever is in front.
Yes.
Okay.
But basically, that guy, already had some initial touch with the lady, not basically touching with hands, but at least he had expressed
yes.
his intent to the lady in some ways, like, oh, you're so beautiful, and so on and so forth. Yes, in that's the traditional way,
Yeah.
but
today, how is it?
today, well, it's just like what happened to Ruth. Young men sends notes to the ladies. I lived also in a campus, college campus, and I think I've lived in the college campus for 90% of my life.
Wow.
Yes,
wow,
so
wow.
that's how I
Wow,
experience
wow, wow.
love. So sending notes, and when you see a lady that you like, you say hi, and then regards. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
can I say my regards to you? And if the girl would say rebound, that means to say there's a question mark. But when she says absorb, that means to say she likes you. Okay?
Wow.
All right, so
This is a
these
whole
are some ways,
different
yes.
language spoken here. Let's go to
Yeah,
the next
okay.
question. Briefly, tell us, what's the process of getting a bride in your culture? Just like 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes.
Okay.
Today.
Today, yes.
Yeah.
Today, there are two ways on how to get a bride. First is those who are thinking to get married. They have to ask permission from the parents. First, the man has to go to his parents, and then tell the parents that he wants to get married to that lady, and the parents would go to the house of the lady with, of course, with initial contact, and then expressing their intent. But usually the man brings not only his parents, but usually the clan goes to the house of the lady, and the clan of the lady will also be there waiting. And then what happens there, they talk and discuss when is the marriage, the date, and how much are they going to spend, and all those things. So that's somewhere in the barrio or in the province. But today, for those who are already well off, I mean, they have work, so they can just set the date and then call both parents and then come to the house of the lady, present, we are getting married, this is the date, this is the place, and this is how much we're going to spend. Accept it or not, we're going to get married. Yes, so that's how it is right now.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Do you have a dowry? Do you give dowry here in the Philippines? Like,
No, we don't.
Money
For the
or-
Muslims, of
or
course.
belongings, or I mean, gifts and stuff like that.
So for the Muslims, they still practice
Okay,
that. But
okay.
in the Filipino culture, usually it's the guy who spends for the wedding.
Okay.
In some
okay.
culture,
Okay.
in some other culture, it's the lady who also spends a lot. But
So-
for this time, both parties can pull in
Contribute.
their resources together and spend for the
very
wedding.
Good, very good, very good. Let's go to Mexico. How is the process of getting a bride? Within a minute or two maximum.
We have the same background,
Yes,
Spanish,
yes,
so
that's correct.
The serenade and everything is almost the same.
Okay.
Okay, and this parents go to the bride's house, and they talk. Parents talk together, and the only ones present there is the two that want to get married and the parents.
The parents. Okay.
So they talk about and what do they think. It's the same. It's almost the same.
Okay.
Money is the same. In our case, we said we don't want money from the parents or any side. We are the ones that want to get married. Both of us have to work, half and
Wow.
half. You gain this money, I'll gain this, but this time we're like that. You budgeting everything. So it's not that you're going to pay for this and you're going to pay for that. So it's
Okay.
half and half, and that's the way.
Any dowry given there?
No,
No. Okay.
they should, huh?
I'm
should.
asking. I'm
They
asking.
should. We didn't have to pay a lot.
Let's
in
try.
that.
We'll have to pay a lot. Okay, let's travel to Ethiopia.
In my culture, the bride process is basically it is arranged by the both parties. I mean that the bride's parents and the groom's parents, they are the ones who make this, because after a lot of and great deal of negotiation, they decide that the boy and the girl can have that kind of relationship. Finally, they will get married. So the first thing that they have to look for is if there is any bloodline. They have to check that, because it's not allowed in our culture. Before, it used to be they count up to the seventh generation, but now they reduce to the 5. So this is how they make it. And
So
also
how do they do
traditional.
that? How do they do that? Do they have like medical records to check this, or the elders know the whole lineage?
Yeah.
or-
There are elders
Wow.
from the both sides.
Wow!
They know
Wow! Wow.
from which clan is the boy, and
Wow.
from which tribe or clan is the girl,
Wow!
and they count all these things.
Wow!
So if there is anything in between, I mean the bloodline in between the boy and girl, completely they decide not to proceed with this, because they don't like to get married with the relatives.
Let me just ask you a very personal question. I know your younger brother married a Filipina.
Yeah.
Was there any other process of checking on the lineage, given that he is Ethiopian and his wife Filipina, or that they didn't have to check any record anymore?
Actually, you cannot. You can easily tell that there is no bloodline between Ethiopians and Filipino.
That
I
was
think-
just curiosity.
I think that part is already known and it's done.
Okay.
So
okay.
the other thing, most valued thing in our culture is the girl must be virgin before she get married,
Wow.
before marriage.
Wow.
So having this, parents, they do not allow the girl to stay with the boy
Mm.
separately, alone.
Wow.
So they do much care for the girl, because
Wow. Wow.
if she is found not virgin during the marriage day,
Mhm.
it will be a shame for that family.
Wow.
So there is a dance and a music that insulting the family, because they are not,
Wow.
they were not caring of taking care of that girl, because she is grown rude. She is not a nice girl.
Wow.
So that's very important thing. But nowadays we are missing that part. I'm sorry for that.
Mm.
But this the most important thing
Wow.
that they give attention. The
Wow,
other is
wow,
bloodline.
Wow. Wow. Very good.
So
very good.
the groom is the one who is expected to
Spend.
make a bride price.
Okay. Oh, that's the dowry. There's a dowry.
Yeah.
So that's-
so this is one of the conditions that the bride's parents require from that man
Okay.
or the boy's family, because they know that after getting their daughter, the daughter may suffer with some basic needs when she goes to the boy's house. Before that, they have to ask for some money. Nowadays, the amount of the money is increasing,
Oh wow.
around 60,000 Ethiopian birr, and they
How much is that an equivalent of U.S. dollars?
actually in US dollar is not more than 2,000 and 2,500.
Wow. Wow.
But
wow.
in Filipino, it will be 120,
Wow.
because that's the rate.
Wow.
That's average. But
Wow.
there are also some people who are very interested with the girl. They can add more. They can also give 100 or 80,000.
Wow.
With this bride price, the bride's parents, they don't use it for themselves.
Mhm.
They buy a lot of things. They prepare a lot of things, basic necessities for the girl.
Mm.
During the marriage, during the wedding day, they will bring all these things, and they let her to take everything with her, because she will not suffer with anything when she goes to her husband.
I see.
So that's how they do. I think this is about Ethiopian culture.
Wow, wow, wow. That is elaborate kind of culture. Let's go to the United States. What's the process?
well, to meet the bride, first off, meeting people. A lot of people are meeting online nowadays, so the whole relationship can take place online back and forth. Even in the church, we have AdventistMingle.com. So a lot of people are meeting online, communicating that way, maybe meeting in person no more than 3 times before the guy will come over. And this is secular. I mean, pop the question, propose in a big gesture, maybe at the top of the Empire State Building or during the game in Yankee Stadium, like some big gesture. And then I don't sure if I understand when you say your families come together, but it's not discussed. I mean, if the girl's been dating you for 2 years, she might have an idea. You might soon, but it's mostly a surprise. So it's not something our families come together, we're thinking about it, and we discuss, okay, yeah, let's do it. It's mostly between the 2 people. He'll propose, and then they tell their family. She said yes. They go forward, engagement parties. But even if the family does not agree, some future daughter-in-laws and future mother-in-laws completely hate each other, but they still go through with the marriage because they believe it's our life. So it's very independent in a way, not so much familial interference.
Interesting, interesting. That is quite a big difference. We're going to have to move because our time is running out. What is unique about how people show love in your culture? Let's start with Bereket. Something you have seen in Ethiopia that you have not seen anywhere else. This is really beautiful about my culture. I wish everybody else could do this in their countries.
In my culture, people show love in different ways. Like she said before, if you're in love with a girl, you'll be seen all the time with her walking to home or sitting together and staying for long hours discussing on some issues, and people know that you are in love, and that is how they show. And this is what is going on now. But before, it was something terrible. It's not good. I should not mention about that, I think, because we are talking about current issue, current situations.
Okay.
So this is how we show love.
Okay. Okay.
I think,
All right. Something unique in Mexican culture that is just unique to your culture.
Well, the serenades, we show love, flowers and all those things, yes. But once you're like really sure that that's the one for you, or you're married already, holding hands, hugs, like not hugging in the middle of no. If you're sitting at church, like the other one is hugging you, it's like we are touchable person. We touch, meaning we're close. Okay. We're okay. Everything's okay. So if you see me once walking with my husband and we're not holding hands, something's wrong, and it's true. It's like that. When we're walking, not holding hands, something's wrong. It's like, it's just, don't even walk with me because I don't want to hold your hand, but holding hands is everything all right. Okay. And once we were walking here in Ayas, we were walking around the campus, and then a Korean lady came. She just, like, how do you
separated you?
No, like this.
Oh, patted you.
Like this. I say, what happened? I say, don't do this here. Children are watching. Keep that for your room. And we were so proud because for us, we're just hold hands every time we walk. Never I'll go in front of my husband. My husband will never go in front of me. Yeah. We just walk together. We come together, and that's like that togetherness all the time. Yes. It's something unique, I think, for us.
I think that is definitely unique. And this is one of the things we've been talking about in United in Diversity. We need to learn to ask other people, what's going on here? I don't understand it. I come from China, from Peru, from Japan, and you holding hands. This is bad where I come from. Is this normal where you come from? And then we'll get an explanation, and then we can live happily ever after. Otherwise, people will get upset with things that are not worth getting upset for. Let's go to our pastor.
I'm still thinking about what's unique actually but the way how we show love, what's unique in the Filipinos is we just take care of one another. I mean, my the husband will take care of the mother-in-laws, the father-in-laws, and so on and so forth. They look at the needs of one another and then try to fulfill the needs of one another. And I think that's one of the unique things in showing love, especially for Filipinos, because we are very familial. We need to take good care of one another, each other's family. And I think that's it.
I will end with just one more question. And that question is, in this multicultural setting here at IS, what should be the best practices of expressing love? Given that we all come from different countries. And of course, we don't want to offend anyone. But on the other side, we don't want to become dry, especially for those who are married. Or maybe we have young people who are not married yet, and they want to get married. And they want to express their love, but within acceptable limits here at IS. How should they do that?
I'm thinking of three things. First, we have to take turns in doing the chores at home. There are, well, for us, in our culture, usually men do not cook, do not wash dishes, but we have to do all of these things, especially if both husband and wife are actually going to school. So we have to take turns in doing the chores at home. Secondly, we have to take turns in taking good care of the kids, especially. And thirdly, we must spend time talking and quality time, not only just hi, hello, but we should spend time talking and family worship. That's very important.
Very good, very good, very good. Yes.
Well, here I learned that you have to respect. If you're a touch person, well, keep that part for your room, like they said. Try to follow.
Are you telling us we should not hold hands anymore?
No, that one cannot go.
I mean, it will get just the joy. I mean, for those who are married, are you telling us we should not hold hands on campus?
No.
Okay.
No, is the thing is that whatever your culture is, you have to keep also respecting that culture, because that's your core. That's what you are. But then if there's something that really bothers other, is that you're gonna please them, but you're gonna try not to do it, like so much. For me, the holding hands is very important. It's simple and it can take, but for us it's important. And I can tell you can see me every time it's like that. And that one is not gonna go, But then there's others. We were never gonna kiss in the when you're walking there. Why? Because you have to respect their children, like they say, and respect other cultures that for them is really not good. Once, let me tell you this one quick. Once I told a friend, the husband was apart for 8 months, and he was coming, and I was so excited. Like, even it was not my husband, but I was so excited. And I said, "What are you gonna do? He's coming back. Do you have a plan?" And she said, "Yes, I'm gonna go and pick him up from the airport. That's the plan." No, but something special. I can take care of the children if you want. And then you can have like a date, you take him to a nice restaurant, you dress up very nice, perfume and the whole thing. And then you can go to a hotel, very nice hotel, and she started looking at me like, what a nasty woman. She's telling me all those things. How come they're coming from out, like that? They say, why are you looking at me like that? It's nice. It's just, you're being apart for so long. I'm in it. They say, we don't do that, please. Don't say it. It hurts. So I say, I'm so sorry. I was trying to give you some ideas, but I think you don't need any. So it's okay. You keep it the way you want it. It's like if I never said it, But then I realized it's different. For everyone is different, and we cannot force them to make it in a way. With Filipino people, they have different ways of the wife is the one that goes and work all day long, and I was trying to tell my ate, no, let him do that part. You should do this because then I understand, why am I getting into their circle? They have a perfect circle working on, and then if I say something, I'm going to cause trouble, and I'm not going to be there to fix it. So just respect that environment. Do not come and try to change the whole thing, because they know how to deal and work with that. And that way, they will respect yours also, and don't give those extreme ideas for anyone. Just respect.
I think I just wanted to emphasize on what he has just mentioned here. Being here at IAS and having our own cultural background, we may think that there is only one way of expressing love. And when we see maybe somebody, a specific group of people, you have never seen them holding hands, so these people have issues. It's like I think he doesn't love his wife. I don't ever see him holding her hand. Or some others, when they see the other extreme, you see Ruth and her husband holding hands all the time and maybe kissing her. So, man, and he's actually a pastor and he's holding his wife's hand in the public. This is bad. We need to be tolerant. We need to get to know about other cultures. We should not jump into conclusion simply because somebody is not loving the way, is not expressing love the way we think it should be expressed. Let's go to the next person. How should we, in this cultural, multicultural setting, how should we behave in our expression of love?
Thank you. Since we are coming from different cultures, I think we have to know about others' cultures. Culture, and we have to recognize and respect that one.
Yeah.
It's already mentioned, but I have to emphasize on that one because we have to know that there is no bad culture in the world. If someone says that your culture is bad, that makes me upset because we may have some bad or not good traditional practices, but from its definition, we know that culture is a way of life that a group of people are sharing together. So we cannot say that your way of life is totally wrong and bad. So it may be bad for you, but it's good for me. So we have to know that. We have to respect. And we are knowing that we can be good enough to recognize and respect others and know what they do is what it means for them. So we may feel shocked when we see something which is against to our culture. So we have to do that one. And if you take the case of IAS, if you go to Ethiopia, girls are not allowed to wear jeans and going to church.
Okay.
And wearing short dresses and very short skirts. That's not good.
Wow.
They don't allow you. If they see you dressing that way, the church elder or the church pastor will call you or will find you out when you go out from the church, and he will tell you that the way you dressed is not good for others. Because when I come here, I can see people wearing very short skirt, and it was shocking for me because. But I used to learn about it, that it's common for this IAS culture. IAS has its own culture, yeah, because we are heterogeneous people coming from different places, from Africa, India, and different areas. We are coming with what we have used to practice in our country. So I think we should not look for some or best culture to be practiced in IAS, but we have to learn and we have to know and respect others. So I think that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much. Let's go, we'll end with Reina.
This is more from my perspective, I guess, American perspective, but at IAS, in terms of age groups, I would say the teens to late teens, because you have almost every age group represented here.
That's correct.
I think that, well, in my family, you didn't date in your teens. I mean, because with dating, it's to lead to marriage, and if you're not getting married at 18, then what's the point? So I think for a lot of the young people, it should be, you can express you care about people, and they do this here already. They hang out in groups together. So they have friendship groups, they create singing groups or performance groups, and they're just very active. So I think keep that. Don't try to just because when it's just two of you and you're doing too much by yourself, it's temptation. So a lot of people hang out the young people hang out in groups together. So just continue to do that, show interest, and the many different areas. And if you like someone, you show interest in that area, what they can show you about that, learn from another person. Showing interest will show you care. For older people who aren't married, because the married people already have their, they express love, the holding hands. One of the answers to the questions about relationships, I notice older people here are still very affectionate. I will see a lot of the older couples walking and holding hands, or I've even seen them outside at restaurants on date night. So in the US, that's more younger couples. You don't see people over maybe 45, 50 out on date night or doing things like that. But for older people, hang out with the different communities. You know, if you're from one culture, they're from another. If you go to their cultural midweek or their community functions, that's showing that you care, that's showing that you want to learn about the different cultures. If it's friendship and you meet and you don't know, a handshake's always good, or sometimes just a smile and you bow your head, not get too physical. I mean, with Latinos, it's pretty common, like a hug. I know that part at least. But so spend more time with their community, show you care to learn. If you're interested in someone's community, make friends with those in that community so you can learn certain inside tips and about how you go about that courtship and stuff. So
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for our participants for the amazing knowledge that they have shared with us today. And we want to thank you, the audience, and those who are watching us online and those who are watching us on TV. Thank you for being with us today. We have learned how complex expressing love can be in many cultures. And so for our young people, our single people who are still trying to find their love, we need to know that there's not only one way of expressing love. There are many different ways. Even within the same country, we will have different ways of expressing love. And maybe if we misinterpret the way somebody is expressing love, we may actually not get to the kind of result we want. We want to end this by inviting all of you to send us any communication. You may have any question, any suggestions, any comments, or even topics that you want us to work on in the future. Please email us at united@ias.edu. Again, the email address is united@aiias.edu for those who are watching us. Until we meet again, we want to thank you so much for being with us, and we encourage you to stay united in diversity. Thank you.